Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Two Hands in a Radio. This is video number 100. I thought we ought to do something special on number 100, and I may talk more than we play with the radio. But you know, that's kind of the way I roll sometimes. What I wanted to do, well, I didn't even realize we were that close. It's been that many videos. That's kind of wild. But I have a friend of mine that I've told this story to. Some of it, I don't think I've told the whole thing. And so for the last, several months, when I got into shortwave radio and ham radio and whatnot, the question was always out there, what was your first radio? And there are people that know what it is, people that still have their very first radio. I don't. And given some health reasons of the past, I don't remember what it was. I remember bits and pieces. And of course you're going back, 45 or more years ago too. And so what I tried to do is I took those bits and pieces and I looked and I've searched ever since trying to find something. And I can guarantee 99.99% that this isn't it. But there's 0.01% that wishes it is. I don't know. Anyway, my first radio, all I remember is it was white. So let's all keep score here. It was white. We'll write that down. The mystery continues. So I've narrowed it down to 2 million different radios, I suppose. I would take my little white radio. It was an AM radio. It had the high impedance earpiece that you stuck in one ear. And I would lay in bed at night and listen to WHAS, the CBS Mystery Theater. That's what hooked me on all of this, I think. Today I love the old-time radio stuff. And that's what it's called, old-time radio. But the CBS Mystery Theater, and I still remember to this day the very first episode. I think it debuted in 73 or 74. I didn't jot that all down. But the first episode was called The Old Ones Are Hard to Kill. And wow, that was an awesome story. Creepy, yet it was just good. Anyway, so I got a white radio, and that's what I would do at night. Every night I would listen to the CBS Mystery Theater. What a fantastic... The first song I heard on that little radio was Kodachrome, Paul Simon. And so it's an AM radio. It was white. And in my head, somewhere in all this, LLoyd's has been in my mind. LLoyd's Electronics. Because we didn't, my parents, they didn't buy, the Sony, the Panasonic, Sanyo, what I would call the high-end electronics. And, I don't know how I want to say that part, but they just didn't buy the top drawer stuff. They didn't buy the bottom drawer either. But it was just kind of the middle of the road stuff. And I always, as a kid, I always wanted the Sony and the Panasonic and and the GE Super Radio or whatever. And but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But in the back of my head, Lloyd's is always there. And why? Because they spell it with two L's. And I remember as a kid thinking, why would you spell Lloyd's with two L's? I don't know. Anyway, well, I was talking to Mom, and I asked her, and I said, do you remember anything about that white radio? I'm at a complete blank. I have pieces. And she said, no. I don't know anything, and that, yeah, Mom took care of the house. She worked, she took care of the house, and she certainly didn't, play around with radios. I think she was more concerned where my Kiss records were, and she never did find those. Anyway, but I talked to Dad it's been more than a couple weeks ago. And it was at Christmas time, I suppose, and we were talking about this. And I didn't tell him any of what I've just told you guys and gals. And I said, do you anything about that at all? He said, well, I think it was a Lloyd's radio. And I said, okay, that might confirm what I thought. So I started a search, and I was looking around at Lloyd's radios and everything, and I didn't see anything. And I've looked, I've looked a few weeks now. I think my conversation with him was before Christmas, Thanksgiving. It had to be Thanksgiving. So I've looked through the month of December, because that's always a good month for eBay and things. And last week, I think it was early last week, this thing popped up. And do you ever have that where you see something and it jogs your memory? There's a certain feeling, and maybe it's a deja vu feeling, or it's just a certain feeling you get. You just know. You can thumb through pictures, and pictures are nothing, and then all of a sudden you come to one and it's like, it's that. And that was this thing. This jumped out at me. And it was $20. And I thought, well, it's $20. It's worth taking a look at. It comes with its own little, it's vinyl case, with its little wrist strap. And I set that off to the side. And anyway, it showed up. And I thought, for the 100th video, we could take a look at this little radio. And just go back in time a little bit. It is the Lloyd's model K607. It's from the early 70s. There's not a lot of information at all about these radios. They come in red, black, and white. And I've got a red one ordered. And why? Just because I can. And it just looks really just like this, only red. And it looks really cool. I'd love to find a black one and just have all three. And maybe you'll find out, I think you'll find out why I ordered the red one. And I'm looking for the black one. I was kind of impressed for something this old. I'm not going to pop it open. It takes a 9-volt battery. You put a coin in here and pops the two halves open. I'm always afraid that I'll break something. Earphone jack there. I don't know if a standard earpiece works or not. I know they take the high impedance earpiece, not earphones. But there's that. Tuning wheel here. There's our tuning dial right in there. And on the other side is our on-off volume switch. And that is it, outside of pretty chrome stuff on there. It's absolutely, I'm sorry, I'm kind of having a moment. It's just so cool. Let's just turn it on. Just listen for a second. And that's WHAS, the radio station I used to listen to all those years ago. I set that up, of course, in advance. The ferrite bar runs across the top of this in here. That's what gets the reception. With the AM, it just uses a ferrite bar. It doesn't need a telescopic antenna, and not much of a way to improve it, I don't think. Oh, unless you had one of those loop antennas or whatever. But now let's just thumb around, and it is, oh, I don't know, 7:45 at night or so. So we're going to be able to pick some stuff up. Let's go all the way at the beginning. So smooth. And, oh man, this is just, it's just a joy. It'd help if I turn the volume up. Oh, there we go. Probably 700 WLW maybe. Maybe. That might be back where we were at. That's probably our local radio station here in town.
Farmers Insurance has been providing practical.
Let's just go back down to the very beginning one more time. See if there's anything there.
My name Bonnie Green, and you'll get your first 3 private strength training sessions for only $25 each. Just you and your trainer, one-on-one, no one watching. And you'll get $200 off any training.
So you can see also with that ferrite bar there, the way you hold the radio is how it receives. So right there would be nothing, but if I turn it, isn't that interesting? That's just so cool. See how you can make it fade out. There's that. And Cincinnati is that way. Huh. That's just so cool. Anyway, this is the first time you'll see me do this. I'll actually put a wrist strap on a radio. But this little thing deserves it. And it deserves the little case that it came with. And wow, how cool is this? I absolutely love this. Is this the most sensitive radio you can buy? Hell no. You know, is it a Sony? Is it a Panasonic? No way. You know, I have radios all over here that can outperform this in a flash, but yeah, there's just something special about this. And yeah, the little white radio, CBS Mystery Theater. If you ever get a chance, look up CBS Mystery Theater on YouTube. They have all the audio stuff there. And anyway, I hope you like this video, number 100. And if you do, give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, hit the subscribe button. We're always coming up with something. And man, what a neat little radio. This is just cool. I'm having my moment. I'm sharing my moment with everybody. So I hope you don't think I'm goofy. And anyway, hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we'll see you with number 101. and on to the next.